There is a situation or person that you feel a lot of resistance about, that you feel at unease about. There's all these emotions and thoughts coming up around it. Maybe you feel angry, maybe you feel jealous, you feel treated unfairly, there's fear, or whatever is coming up inside of you. There's stories, there are thoughts, you feel like you're treated unfairly, you feel like the situation should be different. Whatever is there, you just feel like you can't release, you can't relax, you can't be at ease with that situation. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can release and let go of all of that, so you feel completely released and relaxed again about the situation or person. And the added benefit is that once you're fully released and relaxed around the situation, it's very likely that the situation is going to improve, or that your relationship to that person is going to improve. And make sure you're going to stay until the end of the video, because this is going to be a guided practice. I'm going to guide you through different practices. And if you're really following until the end of the video, it's very likely that you're going to feel fully released and relaxed about a situation or person by the end of this video. And if not, you're going to have all the tools necessary for you to make that happen very quickly. And hey, if this is the first time that we meet, I'm Jonas Erb, and on this channel we talk about authenticity and personal growth. We provide tools and ideas that help you gain clarity, freedom, and fulfillment in your life. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. So I've been using this tool called releasing, which is very powerful to get in connection with all the things that are moving inside of me, all the emotions, all the stuck energy, all the thoughts, all the stories that I carry inside of me around a situation or a person. And it has been proven really effective to actually, transform these things and really look at what is happening inside of me, what is moving, what is stuck, what is resisting that situation or that person. And it's actually quite simple. It might be more simple than you think. And what I would invite you to do is to follow along with me in these practices, and so you can actually start working on that and transforming that. And by the end of this video, you might already feel way lighter about that situation or person. And if you don't feel fully relaxed yet or released, then you can go and continue doing these things, doing these exercises until you feel completely released and relaxed and okay with that situation or person. So the general idea is that what is happening between me and that situation or that person, kind of like me finding peace with that situation or person in that very moment, me relaxing around that situation or person, is actually everything that is stuck inside of me and all the thoughts that are coming up. And what we need to do is we need to welcome them up. We need to create that space for all of that to be seen, to be felt, to be experienced, and to kind of let run through our system. And through that, it can be processed and it can just be let go of. And then we're gonna feel all this resistance just drop as it's been processed. So what we're gonna do is, and do this with me, think about the situation or that person that you feel resistance about. And allow yourself to just take a moment. You can also close your eyes and just kind of feel inside of yourself. And just notice, what are the first thoughts and the first kind of emotions or energies that start to move inside of you. Can help to breathe consciously, but softly. Don't try to force it. Just breathe in a soft and conscious way into your body as you're just observing inside of yourself. Sometimes it can help to lower your head a little bit, to just drop inside of your body. Let your awareness drop from your head, kind of like lowering it down more and more, into your neck, into your chest, into your body, and just feeling inside of your body, and just also noticing what are the thoughts that are coming up. And what you will observe it's going to happen is that you're naturally going to feel these feelings, these stuck things inside of you, and these thoughts that are there that are agitating you around that situation or person. And so as you're feeling into that and allowing yourself to feel that more and more, I would invite you to welcome these emotions or thoughts. And just ask yourself, what is the next thought or emotion that wants to come up around that situation or person? What's the next emotion or thought that wants to come up? And as you're asking yourself this question, just listen, and then you might hear a thought, or you might feel an emotion. For example, I have a certain kind of person or situation that was alive, or that is kind of alive, and I'm feeling a little bit like sadness that's coming up. There's a little bit of anger as well. There are thoughts coming up. There's like, I'm just gonna share it some time ago, but it's like, the thought is like, you fired me and now you want to be friends. There's just a thought that's coming up. Yeah, and I just feel the parts of me that are at unease with the situation or with the person. And so what I'm gonna do, and what I would invite you to do, is to start to breathe into that and just ask yourself, could I welcome this emotion? Could I just welcome this emotion some more? So now I'm already feeling like the sadness is coming up. And I'm just allowing it to come up, and maybe you're gonna cry a little bit, or you're just gonna feel sad or whatever. But there's gonna be some emotion coming up. And I'm just welcoming it up, and I'm just allowing it to come up. I'm not resisting it. I'm just creating that space for it to come up. And so, as I'm welcoming that more and more, I feel I get a little bit lighter about the situation or person. So I'm just allowing myself to just welcome that, kind of create that inner space for that, and just welcome it. And say, and I'm asking myself, could I let that go? That emotion or that thought that is present right now. And if I can't let it fully go, could I let go just 1% of it? Could I just let 1% of that go? Sometimes it can also help to like shake your hands. Just feel like you're kind of like letting that drop. Just letting that go. And so now I might start to feel, to welcome more. Maybe there's more sadness, or maybe there's some anger, or maybe there's some frustration, or some other just resistance. Sometimes you're also just feeling resistance, and we can't really put it into words, but we're just resisting that situation or person. And sometimes you can just welcome that resistance up and just say, okay, I'm just resisting that person or that situation right now. And could I just allow myself to resist that for a moment? And could I just allow myself to feel that resistance for a moment? And could I just welcome that resistance? Could welcome this energy up? Maybe there's frustration or anger or or there's just this resistance and I just welcome it up. And I can also just ask myself, could I relax just a little bit more into that resistance? Just allowing myself to relax more into that. And sometimes you have an impulse to move your body, as I'm doing right now, and just see, maybe you need to move your body a little bit, and that can sometimes help to, work with that resistance or with some stuck energy. Could I just welcome that resistance some more? Could I welcome it even more? Could I welcome it even more? And sometimes it might help to put a hand on wherever you feel some kind of resistance, emotion, stuck energy. And just be with that for a moment and just welcome it. And welcome it even more. And just welcome it even more. And just welcome it even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. So I'm already feeling lighter right now. And I just say, could I just let that resistance go? Could I just let it go? And maybe I can just let part of it go. Maybe I can let it fully go and just ask myself, could I let some of that resistance go? Could I let some more of that resistance go? Could I let some more of that go? And some more. And whatever your emotion is, it could be resistance, it could be jealousy, it could be anger, it could be numbness, it could be anxiety, fear, it could literally be anything, it could be pain. And you're just welcoming that up and ask yourself, could you welcome it even more, and even more? And could you let it go, and even more, and even more, and even more? And so now we're going to do the same thing with the thoughts. Maybe as I said, there was a thought that I just shared before. You fired me and now you want to be friends. There's just a thought, and I don't want to change the thought. I don't want to make it right or wrong. It's just something that my system has been carrying. And I just say, could I welcome that thought? Could I just welcome the existence of that thought? Because it's already there. Could I welcome that idea, that thought? Could I welcome that story? Maybe I'm creating a story in my head around the situation or person. And could I, for a moment, just welcome that? Just let it be there. Just let it come up and be welcomed, just for now. Could I welcome it even more? And even more. And even more. And could I let it go? And could I let it go even more? Could I let it go even more? And even more? Now feeling like I'm letting go of that, or more and more, and now anger starts to come up, for example, and now I can ask myself, can I welcome that anger? Could I allow myself to feel that anger? Could I just welcome it? And you're just going with whatever emotion or whatever thought is coming up for you. It's a natural process of these emotions and thoughts just coming up one after another. as they want to be felt, they want to be experienced, they want to be seen. So you're just working with your thing that's coming up for you, and I just, as an example, I just work with what's present here, so you can just feel into that process and do it alongside me. So now there's this anger. I'm just allowing myself to feel that anger. For example, now I might like clench my fists, and that can sometimes help. If there's some intense emotion, you can like clench your fists and you feel like that resistance or that intense emotion, and that like, fuck this person or the situation. And allowing yourself to just feel into that energy. And I like, I'm putting this kind of like energy and that resistance, I'm kind of like matching it with my hands. I'm just like pressing it. And I'm just feeling that. And then I just say, could I feel that resistance? Could I feel me resisting that situation or that thought or that emotion? And allowing myself to just feel into this clenching as I'm resisting. And then I can also ask myself, could I allow myself to open that resistance up a little bit? Could I allow myself to just relax this resistance a little bit? That intensity. Because sometimes you're clinging on to something, we're clinging on to some emotion or some thought, and this is like the idea of just letting go of that clinging. Just see if you can let go for clinging a little bit by just opening physically your hands a little bit, and see if you can emotionally and mentally open up that clenching on and the holding on to that resisting. If you can just release and relax that, just see, you can do that a little bit, and just see if we can open up a little bit more, and just see how we can let our hands relax just a little bit more, and just a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Maybe we can just feel how that relaxation in our hands corresponds to the relaxation in our emotions, in our internal energy, in our thoughts, in our stories. Just see if we can feel any slight relaxation. And whenever we feel like a slight relaxation or feeling that it gets lighter, we can just allow ourselves to feel that lightness and see, can I allow myself to feel even more light? Can I allow myself to just feel even more light? And allow myself to just feel even more light and relaxed. And just celebrating that we're letting go, that we're feeling lighter, that we're feeling more relaxed. And then maybe there's another wave of something coming up. And we're just staying with whatever is there, and we're just asking ourselves, could I welcome whatever else is coming up as a thought, as an emotion, as an internal energy, as a resistance, as something that's alive inside of ourselves? It's alive inside of ourselves with respect to that person or with respect to that situation. And whenever we're feeling stuck, like there's some emotion or some thought that we just can't seem to process, I would invite you to just go back into just breathing very softly but consciously, just breathing into that thought or into that emotion. Because through the breathing, we can create more space inside of ourselves. We can create more space and just more, in a way, openness towards that thought or that emotion. Even if we really don't like that thought or emotion, we just allow ourselves to kind of open up. That's another thing you can do. You can just try to could I just open up my body, my being, myself? Could I just open myself up to that kind of thought or emotion or that story that is coming up? And some of these things that you think might come up, you might think like, I really don't like to hear that thought or that emotion or that feeling inside of me. It's really uncomfortable, or I don't stand behind that. And it might be some kind of thought that you're like, whoa, what the heck is this even? Like you might think like, I hate this person, or this person is such a loser, or this or that, or maybe things that you wouldn't even think that you think about that person. And the trick here is to not take it personally, or to try to like, make sense out of it. Like it can like bring up some kind of understandings of things that are going on inside of you, and that can be very helpful, that kind of insight. But it's more important to just welcome it up, because we're not judging what is coming up. We're just feeling, we're just allowing these things to come up. And sometimes we might have to have some kind of really mean thoughts, or some really weird emotions or feelings that we cannot really put into any kind of box of understanding that we are used to. But by allowing it to come up, whatever needs to come up and is in the way of you be feeling relaxed and released around that situation or person, is going to come up and has a space to be felt and experienced. Often we subconsciously suppress some of these thoughts or emotions because we don't want to hear them, we don't want to feel them, or we feel maybe embarrassed, or just like we feel weird about these thoughts or emotions. And the more space we can create inside of ourselves for everything that is there, just to be witnessed, to be welcomed, and to be let go of, the more we can actually, the easier it is to actually process that. And so sometimes you might feel like there are so many thoughts and so many emotions, and you feel like I just need to let all of this kind of rush through me for some time and just let all of this come up. And so one kind of like simple way that you can do what I'm talking about also in another video that I can link up here, where I talk about different tools to basically release on goals. One thing I call rapid fire releasing, which is basically you're just saying whatever is coming up, could I love that? And could I let it go? And you're just asking that, what's the next thought or feeling that's coming up? And could I love that? Could I let it go? And sometimes you might be like, well, I cannot love that thought. I cannot love that emotion. But by saying, could I love that? We're not saying like you need to love the idea of it, or like the fact that it's there or something like that. It's more of like, could I just open myself up to it being there? Could I just allow it to be there for a moment? Because it's there anyways. So could I just open up? Could I just welcome it up? Could I love it? Could I open up to it? Could I let it go? And in that rapid fire releasing, we're not doing such an elaborate, like really feeling into deeply welcoming it and all that, like for a really longer time and then letting it go. But we're just kind of like doing it a little more quickly. Like, could I love it? Could I let it go? Or could I open myself up to it? Could I let it pass through? And just we're doing it like in a quick way. So what's the next thought or feeling? Could I allow that to come up? Could I let that go? What's the next emotional thought or feeling that's coming up? Could I love that? Could I let that go? And you just continue like that. Could I love that? Could I let that go? Or could I open myself up to that? Could I let that go? Could I welcome that? Could I let that go? And you're just going a little bit more rapidly, because sometimes there's so many thoughts that just need to be heard, and kind of like run through your system. Or there might be so many different emotions, and you're just welcoming them up. And another thing you can do, if you feel like you're starting to get stuck, or there's still some kind of stuff there, but you don't really feel like you're getting, everything processed, then another thing you can do is you can ask yourself, is there any need or wanting approval, control, or safety around that situation or person? And so you can feel inside of yourself and ask yourself, is there any needing approval from that person or in that situation? Do I need approval around that? Is there any feeling of, I want approval, I need approval? Then is there any want for control? Am I trying to control the situation? Am I trying to control the person? Am I trying to control myself? Then is there any wanting safety? Do I feel I need safety? Is there any needing safety in that situation or with that person? And just feel if there's any of these three needs that are alive inside of you with respect to that situation. And if there is, just feel into that, feeling how that feels inside of your body, inside of your system. Could I just allow myself to feel this wanting approval, like how I want approval from that person or in that situation or from that group or from myself? Could I just feel that I'm lacking, I don't have enough approval, I need approval? And the same with, could I feel that controlling energy? If you're feeling the need for control, could I feel like, that I'm lacking control, I really need that, I want that, I really need that control? Or with safety, do we feel like, I need that safety, I feel I'm lacking that safety, there's this wanting, needing, lacking safety feeling around that situation or person. And so you're just feeling that, you're allowing yourself to feel that. See, could I welcome that need for approval or control, safety? Could I welcome that? Could I feel into that? Could I allow myself to really feel that fully? Could I kind of surrender to that? Could I fully let that come up and that need and see like, I want approval, I want control, I want safety. Just feel that fully. And as you're feeling it fully, for example, there's a wanting control coming up as I'm feeling into that situation that I was talking about, or that I was releasing on. So just asking, could I welcome that up? And could I feel that wanting control some more? And needing to control that. Lacking control. Just allowing myself to feel it even more. And do it along with me. With whatever of these needs you feel, if you feel any. And just, could I welcome that need some more? Could I welcome that a bit more? Could I feel into it even more? And could I feel into it and welcome it even more? Welcome it even more. And could I let it go? Could I let it go even more? And even more. And even more. And even more. So I'm feeling a little bit lighter around that need. Maybe you have to do a couple of rounds. For example, now I feel there's a little bit more of that wanting to control. So I can go back and I welcome some more of that control. Could I let some more of that go? That needing control. Because if we want to need these needs, if we're trying to get them, the more we want them, the less we're actually likely to receive them. So the more we can release these needs, wanting approval, control, and safety, the more relaxed we get around the situation. And actually the more likely we are to receive these, kind of like have these needs being fulfilled. But that's not the goal. It's not the goal for these needs to be fulfilled. But the goal is to be released around the situation. So we're not bothered by the situation, and we can just make choices of like what feels right for me to do now that I feel relaxed and released around the situation or person. So sometimes there might just be some more kind of random emotion coming up, and sometimes it can help to just like almost let yourself kind of like sweep through your body and through all of it and just see like, I gotta just allow everything that's here to kind of come up and flow through me. I could allow it to come up more and flow through me more, and I could allow myself to just let go of everything that's coming up inside of me around that situation. Any last residue of what's inside of me around that situation. Could I let it go even more? You're gonna let it go even more. You're gonna let it go even more. And sometimes it might take some time. And so I'm starting to feel lighter now. And I can ask myself, could I allow myself to feel even lighter? And even lighter. 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 You could allow myself to feel even lighter about the situation of person. You could allow myself to feel even lighter. And even lighter. And even lighter. And as you're doing that, you can just feel more. You can just allow that lightness and relaxation to kind of like expand. So let me know in the comments, did you feel lighter as you've been doing this practice now? Let me know in the comments. And if you don't feel fully released and relaxed yet around the situation or person, then just continuing doing this until you get to the point where you just feel completely relaxed and at ease with the person or with the situation. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this practice. If you want to know more about releasing, I have a whole playlist with a lot of videos where I talk about releasing, different ways of applying that to different kind of situations or things or life situations, people and so on. So you can I will link that in the description below, so you can watch this playlist if you're interested in that. And yeah, I'm doing coaching around this topic as well. So if you're interested in that, I offer a free 30 minutes discovery or coaching and evaluation call. That one is also in the description below if you're interested in that. And if you liked the video, please hit the like button. And I would really love for you to support my channel by subscribing to my channel and turn on notifications by clicking on the notifications bell so you'll be notified when new videos are gonna come out. So there's so many other videos on this channel. I will link some more interesting videos for you to watch if you're into releasing or just into these topics up here. So thank you very much for watching and have a great day. Goodbye, everyone.